to another episode of Baking with Becca. Today you'll be learning how to bake upside down cakes. Now traditionally you might see a pineapple upside down cake with those little cherries on it, but we're going to go ahead and try out a peach upside down cake today so that we can use the fresh fruit of the season. This is a great bake to try out if you're a beginner, so follow along and let's get started. Begin by preheating your oven to 350 degrees. Whenever you're baking a cake, it's always important to prep your pan first before you start the mixing process so that you're not scrambling at the last second to get everything ready. Once you have your parchment cut out, spritz just a little bit of oil in your pan just to get it to stick to the bottom so it doesn't move around when we add in our toppings. For the top of our upside down cake, you'll need 2 to 3 peeled and sliced fresh peaches, 1/4 cup of butter melted, and 1/2 cup of brown sugar. So here's our 1/4 cup of melted butter. I'm just going to put that straight into our pan. Just use a spatula to get the rest of it out because there's definitely some left over in there that you're going to want. So we can kind of gently roll that around to get it all to cover the bottom, like that. And then we'll take our brown sugar and simply sprinkle it over the top evenly. This is very easy to do. Just sprinkle, sprinkle, sprinkle. Try to get it evenly, but this is not a perfect science. Here we go. And then I have our peeled and sliced peaches here. You want them to be relatively thick so that they still have tiny bit of bite to them after our cake is done. So we're looking, you can have kind of varying sizes, that's fine, nobody's perfect. But we're looking for slightly thicker peaches. We'll take these and we'll just simply place them all in a single layer all over our brown sugar. I'm going to start in the middle here and create a little starburst pattern. Now the reason I tell you to have 2 to 3 peaches is because generally speaking there are going to be bad spots on peaches. It's just inevitable. So I ended up with more than I needed, so I'm going to use those for a little bit of peaches and cream when I'm done. You can be creative here and place these however you want. I'm just doing them in a pattern that I like and that will get me the most peaches in my cake. There we go. Now we can begin to mix our cake batter. To begin our cake batter, we'll use the creaming method. So we start off with 1/2 cup of room temperature butter and 3/4 cup of granulated sugar. Using a mixer or a whisk, you'll beat that until light and fluffy. Now we'll add in 1 large egg and 1 teaspoon of vanilla. And mix that together until just combined. Now we can move on to adding in our dry ingredients and our milk to our batter. Combined here, I have 1 1/4 cups of flour, 1 1/4 teaspoons of baking powder, and 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Then we have 1/2 cup of milk. We'll add these to our batter alternately in small portions to prevent clumping and overmixing. Don't forget to scrape down the sides of your bowl with a spatula in between additions. Perfect. Nice thick batter. So now we can gently spoon that over our peaches and prepare our pan for the oven. When you're spreading your batter out, try to just gently move it across so that you don't move the peaches around on the bottom. You want to get it all the way to the edge. You might have some juice that comes up from the peaches. That's okay. Don't panic. Try to get as flat as possible. And there we go. I always like to give my cake batter pans a final tap before going into the oven. So just give it a tap on the counter. That just helps get any air bubbles out. And then I always gotta go clean up the sides, like right here. That's to help prevent burning in the oven, just because it will fool you into thinking your cake is done when it's not. So clean up those edges, and then we are good to go into the oven. We'll bake it for about 45 to 55 minutes, or until you insert a toothpick into the cake part and it comes out clean. Yay, our cake is all done baking. Look at that lovely dark golden brown color. It's exactly what we're looking for. So we're gonna let this cool in the pan for about 10 minutes, and then it's really important that we take it out right after that and put it on our serving plate. So set your timers. So we've let it sit for 10 minutes now, so I'm going to take a butter knife, run it around the edge of the pan, just to loosen up. You don't want it to catch and rip our cake. And then if your pan is still a little bit hot, put gloves on, but mine is fine, so that's okay. All you'll do is take your serving tray, flip it over the top, grab your handles, and we're gonna flip it on over. And then, because we have the parchment paper on the bottom, it will just lift right off like that. And we've got our lovely sticky peach upside down cake. Yay! Look at that, it's so beautiful. So, upside down cake is best served warm. I personally like it with a little bit of vanilla ice cream, but that's just me. So we'll let this cool for maybe a couple minutes more because it's still pretty hot, and then we'll get to serving. All right, it's time to cut a piece. Did I mention that I was hungry? I'm getting a really big piece because this is gonna be the best snack ever. All right, there's our lovely moist cake. Look at it, so beautiful. We've got our fresh peaches and a little bit of ice cream. Let's give it a try. That's good stuff right there. I think you'll like it. Let me know, give it a try. Have a good day.